It's time I tell you a story. A story of a cub, not much bigger than you.
So just to be clear, we're not in this story?
There's a lot of stories with all of us. Tell one of those.
I loved Mufasa. Absolutely incredible. I also love the fact that these animals emote in this film. Like, you really captured the emotion, and it hit me right here. Taka is incredible. Barry, you mentioned the importance of grounding Mufasa's story. How did you balance the mythos with The Lion King and introducing new, deeper elements to the story?
Yeah, I think, Lynn and I were just talking about this idea that, Mufasa is like perfect because he's kind of existed as this great, wizened king, the voice of James Earl Jones for 30 years, but nobody's that way at the age of 15, at the age of 7, at the age of 5. And so really just going back, and as you said, using this word, grounding his experiences, not that he's having this experience for the point of becoming a king, but to learn life lessons that we all have to learn as children, as teenagers, as young adults. Once we kind of hit on that, working with the screenwriter Jeff Nathanson, it was all laid out.
Incredible. Lin-Manuel, the music in this slaps. I loved every single song. And you mentioned building songs from dialogue in the screenplay like I've Always Wanted a Brother. Can you elaborate on your creative process working on the songs?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's one where the line of dialogue was so clear. I remember, feeling so moved when Taka says that in the movie that I was like, well, there's your song. Look no further. And using that as a way to get to know them and grow up with them very quickly. Another one is Tell Me It's You. That was a line of dialogue in the scene that Sarabi said to Mufasa, and I was like, that is the greatest title for a Casey and JoJo song that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, right.
But I'm gonna write this one. Even the first verse of Milele, most of that description of paradise really began as prose on the page that I got to adapt. So it was a very sharp, very focused script. So it gave me a lot of clues.
Incredible. Barry, what were some of the thematic elements you wanted to explore with this group of misfits, especially in the context of family, destiny, and resilience?
Yeah, I think this idea of found family is something that we were talking about early in the film. We assume that Mufasa has a very particular lineage, very particular family tree, and then in this film you learn that is not the case. And yet he did have a family. No man, no woman, no person who becomes that great does so in isolation.
Sure.
And so it was about taking all these wonderful characters, Rafiki, Zazu, Sarabi, and not necessarily creating them for the sake of giving Mufasa these experiences, but showing how he learned things from each one of them along the course of his journey, because I feel like I've had the same experience in my life.
Now, Lynn, I loved the brother song that Mufasa sings. Can you also talk about collaborating with these incredible actors, and were there any songs that didn't quite make it into the film that you wish they could have been?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, to the first part of your question, by the time I came aboard, it was cast.
Right.
So I was sort of like, please be able to sing, please be able to sing. He has some Broadway ringers in there in the form of Anika Noni Rose and Keith David. We're both, Broadway legends.
Yes.
So that was really exciting, writing to their voices. And then, Aaron Pierre has such an incredible instrument, and he was so nervous. He was like, I've only ever sung in church. Yeah. I was like, listen to how you sound. You're going to be amazing. So it was really exciting getting to hear them sing. My only regret is I didn't get to write a tune for Billy Eichner, who has an incredible voice. I've known him since our early off Broadway days. But yeah, they were all incredible. Barry knocked it out of the park casting this thing.
Speaking of casting, I want to talk about Aaron for a second, because he is incredible as Mufasa. What did he bring to the role that wasn't on the page?
It was interesting. When you cast someone to play the younger version of James Earl Jones, that can be quite intimidating. But to me, Aaron just really embraced this idea that it's not about creating a performance that feels like it can mathematically add up to James Earl Jones in 1994. It was about being present, being honest, being authentic about the experiences Mufasa's having and the present tense moment of the scene. He really understood that. And once he did, because you start this film all in voices, like a radio play.
Sure.
You have total freedom. You can create anything you want. And I think all the actors, Aaron, Seth, and Billy especially, Tiffany and Calvin, they really had fun stretching, elasticating, what it was these characters were going through.
Interesting. Lin-Manuel, I got to ask you, I'm a big fan of Percy Jackson.
Right.
And are you returning as Hermes for Percy Jackson season 2? And wait, there's a second question, because we're also WWE fans here.
Oh yeah.
The second question is, if there was a pro wrestler that you can compose entrance music for, who would that wrestler be?
This is such good questions. first of all, I don't think it's a spoiler to say yes, because he's in that book. So I show up when Percy needs me in the new series. I've already shot that. And the second question, ooh, it's tricky. You know, I like the heels more than the faces. Like I love Dom Mysterio. The New Day turned heel this week. I don't even know if you're caught up on your wrestling, but
no.
the New Day turned heel this week. So, but
that one hurt.
I would write a Dom Mysterio. I'd write a banger Dom Mysterio entrance track. But again, they'd boo all over it, and that's the fun. If you're getting boos, it means you're doing your job.
Right. You know, back to Mufasa for a second, because I think there's this beautiful stuff that we see in the snow, and there's a different side of Africa we don't see.
Yep.
Can you talk about wanting to use that particular location in the film?
Yeah, it wasn't like intellectual that I want to show parts of Africa we don't often see. You know, what we did was Mufasa gets sort of jettisoned from everything he knows, and it was a great opportunity to do this journey through the continent, to travel through different landscapes, different cultures. And the snow, I will say, I just thought seeing these animals in that environment, there was something really beautiful about it. And also, now to be calculated, I knew there was gonna be this ballad written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and where could it take place? In this gorgeous ice cave with like reflections and all the voices reflected. It was like, we gotta do it, we gotta do it.
Yeah, after I watched the film, I went back and watched The Lion King in my hotel room, the live-action Lion King, and it tore my heart out now that we see the brotherhood between Taka and Mufasa kind of torn apart. Fantastic job on this film, though. I absolutely loved it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Finally, food. If you take my life, you will never find where you are going. Taka, do not eat him. Wonderful. Another we're not supposed to eat.